and myself, so that'll give us the 4. All right, so, yeah. Apologies for my late arrival. We will, if there are no objections, we'll call this meeting to order here at 1:40 for the South Central Regional Transit District Board meeting. If you can join me and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and then we'll move on to the roll call. We'll start with Trustee Powie.
I'm here.
Thank you. Trustee Nevarez.
Present.
Thank you. Mayor Ogi.
Present.
And myself, Commissioner Sanchez, I am present. We currently do not show, I think, a representative from the City of Sunland Park or the Village of Hatch. So with, and am I missing? And the City of Las Cruces, thank you. So we have 4 out of 7, so we do have quorum. All right. And with that, we'll move on to agenda item number 4, which is the approval of our agenda. If I can get a motion in a second to approve agenda, please.
This is Meiji Powie. I'll move to approve the agenda.
Thank you, Meiji. I'll second the motion. Are there any changes to the agenda, David? I don't know if you want to put your microphone on too, sorry.
The only thing I was going to offer is that maybe we change the order and go with items 8 and 9. That's the approval of the officers and a resolution approving the meeting, and then allow me to come back and do the executive director's report.
Okay, so we're suggesting to move agenda items 8 and 9. Okay, before
Item 7.
item 7. Okay, so we'll go item 6, then 8, then 9, and then back to 7 before we,
That's correct.
okay. Board members, are we okay with the changes to the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I guess just for clarity, I'll make a motion that we amend the agenda to move agenda items 8 and 9 before item 7, but after item 6. If I can get a second.
Second, Nevarez.
Thank you, Trustee Nevarez. All right, if we can have a roll call on that, then we'll, on that amendment. So Trustee Powie, do you? How do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Nevarez?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Mayor Olguin?
Yes.
Thank you, and I vote yes. So with that, we have the amended agenda, and so we'll have to vote on the agenda as amended. So roll call on that. So Trustee Powie?
Yes.
Thank
I vote
you.
yes.
Trustee Nevarez?
Yes.
All right, Mayor Olguin?
Yes.
And I, Commissioner Sanchez, I vote yes. And with that, our agenda is approved. Thank you all for that and working with me on that one. All right, we're on to agenda item number 5, which is public input. Are there any members of the public here? Provide input? Not hearing or seeing any?
At this time.
We move on to agenda item number 6, which is approval of the SCRTD meeting minutes of November 12th of 2025. If I get a motion in a second to begin.
So moved, Nevarez.
Thank you, Trustee Nevarez. I'll second the motion. Okay. Board members, are there any changes or amendments to the meeting minutes from November 12th, 2025?
I have something. My name is Gerard, and it lists me as Gerald.
Okay. We'll have to, thank you, Trustee Nevarez. We will make a note of that and make those corrections.
Will do. Thank you. Yes, the minutes are being recorded, and we
10-4.
still
Just
have.
wanted to make sure as I was looking here. I didn't see, let me see. the
And we have a
monitors
minute
up.
taker, so yes.
Okay, very good.
Might help.
Yep. Okay, trustee Narvaez, we will note the administrative change onto those minutes to reflect your first name correctly. Thank you for noticing or getting us corrected on that.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, other than the administrative change, are there any other changes to the agenda?
No,
Okay. I mean, agenda, sorry, excuse me, meeting minutes, I apologize.
no. we're good.
Okay,
I think we're good.
all right, then with that, I'll do a roll call to approve the minutes from November 12th, 2025. Trustee Powie,
Yes.
trustee Narvaez,
Yes.
Mayor Olguin,
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez, I vote yes, and with that, the meeting minutes are approved. All right, so with that, we'll move on to agenda item number 8, which is the approval of annual officer board appointments and approval of resolution. So with that, I guess I will open up the floor for nominations for chair of the board. All right, not everybody jump at this one. I guess if there are no, I don't mind or continuing on unless somebody else would like to be chair. If not,
I'd
I'll
like to
nominate.
nominate you.
Thank you, trustee Narvaez. Are there any other nominations? Okay. All right, then I'll close nominations
For chair.
for chair. Thank you. And so with that, with only myself on being nominated, I guess because we have, I guess we still have people on the phone, so we'll have to do a roll call vote. Okay, so on the, sorry. Trying to think of how to say this. So for the nomination of Commissioner Sanchez for chair, how do you vote, trustee Powie?
I vote yes.
Trustee Narvaez, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, Mayor Olguin?
Yes.
All right, I vote yes, and so thank you to the board members. I guess I'll be continuing on as chair for the year 2026. So thank you all for that. All right, we need to also nominate a vice chair. And so with that, I'll open up nominations for vice chair. I know Mayor Hernandez was previously vice chair for 2025 from the town of Mesilla, but I know there's been a change. I know trustee Narvaez, he's informed me that you'll be taking over as the representative from the town of Mesilla. So with that, we'll need a nominations for vice chair. Mayor McGinn, are you interested or?
Sure.
Okay. I'll nominate Mayor Olguin. Are there any other nominations? Okay, then we'll close the floor for nominations for vice chair. So to elect Mayor Olguin from the city of Anthony as vice chair for 2026, trustee Powie, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Okay, trustee Narvaez?
Yes.
All right, Mayor Olguin?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Sanchez, I vote yes. And so with that, thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, for willing to serve here for this year.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
All right, and then we have one other,
Two.
wait, oh,
Secretary, as a result of Ms. Flores no longer being on the
Okay.
board, representing the city, and then we still have the treasurer. And I will say what I said a year ago with our, the treasurer is a very important position because we need to sign a lot of documents because of the fact that Adam Shea, our finance officer, is located in Sunland Park. It does make it easier when we have, in this particular case, the mayor of Sunland Park, Javier Padilla, available. So he's
okay.
not here to reappoint himself, so I'm leaving it to the board.
David, Javier is not here today. Does he have any problem serving again?
I can't speak for him really, but I did see him this weekend. I was up in Santa Fe for several days on a couple different business meetings for the
Yeah.
BIA as well as the Mesilla Valley Days for the Las Cruces Chamber. So he still seems to be very spry as a young man. So I'm sure he's more than capable of helping us out. In fact, we did a call last week. Did we not, Adam, on the audit? On the audit last Tuesday, I believe. Yeah, so a week ago. So
Okay.
he was available to us, so.
Well, I think if we'd like to nominate Mayor Perea, and he has an issue with it, we could potentially come back in the next meeting and you know, end up getting some other nominations. So then I'll open the floor for nominations for treasurer.
I'll nominate
nominate
Javier
Perea.
Perea for treasurer. This is Meiji.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Powie. Then we'll take Mayor Padilla as one. Are there any other nominations? Okay. Then we'll close the floor for nominations for treasurer with Mayor Padilla as the sole nominee. Trustee Powie, how do you vote as Mayor Padilla for treasurer?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Nevares?
Yes.
Mayor Holguin, or Vice Chair Holguin?
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Sanchez, I vote yes. And so with that, Mayor Perea will be our treasurer for 2026. Okay, and then we have the last office that we will need someone nominated for, which is the secretary of the SCRTD board. As you noted, David, that last year was Councilor Ivan Flores from the city of Las Cruces. So with that, we can open up nominations. You know, if Trustee Nevares or Trustee Powie, if neither of you are willing, I will say that at least we do have at least a noted member from the city of Las Cruces is Mayor Pro Tem Munoz is listed here, as well as Trustee Martinez from the village of Hatch. I know we have not really had much of participation from the village of Hatch, so I don't know if we necessarily want to look there, but I would say probably Mayor Pro Tem Munoz might be another option. But I'll open it up to you, Trustee Nevares or Trustee Powie, if either you would like to step in as the
Actually, I
secretary.
would like to nominate Mayor Pro Tem Munoz.
Okay, all right. So I have a nomination for Mayor Pro Tem John Munoz from the city of Las Cruces. Are there any other nominations?
No, and this is Meiji, and I'll say something. It's much easier if they're down in Doña Ana County or close and not, yeah. Which,
Nope,
I'm
understand.
glad to serve on the board, but it's very hard if you're 75 miles away.
No, I can appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, with that, we have the nomination for Mayor Pro Tem Munoz. Are there, sorry, Trustee Nevares were you going to chime in there?
No, I nominated him, so.
Okay, cool. Very good. So with that, we'll close nominations for secretary with Mayor Pro Tem John Munoz of the city of Las Cruces. And for that, we'll take a roll call. Trustee Powie, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Thank you. Trustee Nevares?
Yes.
Vice Chair Holguin?
Yes.
Commissioner Sanchez, I vote yes. And so with that, we have our secretary for this year. So just for the record, I have myself, Commissioner Sanchez as chair. As vice chair, Mayor Holguin from the city of Anthony. As treasurer, we'll have Mayor Perea from the city of Sunland Park. And for secretary, we have Mayor Pro Tem Munoz from the city of Las Cruces. So, thank you. All right, and then the next item we have is agenda item number 9, a resolution approving the SCRTD meeting schedule for the year 2026. If I can get a motion and a second to begin discussion, please.
So moved, Nevares.
Thank you, Trustee Nevares. I'll second the motion. Okay, so David, I know I'm going to the item for the schedule. What we show here will be our meeting schedule as noted, or as usual, it would be necessarily the fourth
Wednesday.
fourth Wednesday at 1:30. So that would be obvious today, January 28th, February 25th, March 25th, April 22nd, May 27th, June 24th, July 22nd, August 26th, September 23rd, October 28th, and November 25th. And we've noted here in the agenda packet that the month of December, because of its proximity to the Christmas holiday, that we generally have no meeting during that time. In November, as same thing, I think when we're close to the city, or the Thanksgiving holiday, as we get closer, we can discuss with the board whether we'd like to perhaps reschedule or figure that meeting out. But we do keep that still listed as a noted meeting for the year.
For the schedule, yes.
Yeah. So with that, I don't know, board members, do we have any questions on the proposed meeting schedule? All right.
No.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve a resolution for the meeting schedule for year 2026. If there are no other comments, then I'll take a roll call vote. Trustee Powie, how do you vote on the calendar for 2026?
I vote yes.
Thank you. Trustee Nevares?
Yes.
Vice Chair Holguin?
Yes.
Chair Sanchez, I vote yes. And so for that, we have our meeting schedule for 2026 approved. Thank you, board. Okay, we're going to take a step back here to agenda item number 7, which will be our executive director's report. And so I will turn that over to you, David.
Got it.
I never know if
Thank you. So today's executive director's report is going to focus on projects that are underway across the district. Our largest project right now is the Sunland Park microgrid and solar array project. We have a project start date of January, but that's going to slide a little bit into startup into February. We still hope to complete it in April, but I think we're going to see that schedule stretch out a little bit. We have a 120-day schedule, so it's possible it could go well into May. Project benefits for that is will provide us with sustainable power for our facility. We are actually looking at being able to generate enough power to operate all of our electric vehicles. Right now we have 5 with 3 more coming, plus a couple of EVs on the way. So we have over 10 vehicles, 2 separate fast charge, slow charge, whatever, but that will go. It will also generate power for our maintenance facility and our administrative headquarters that's there. So we hope to show that we actually have a 0 footprint of power, and we'll have a little excess going onto the grid. We're still working with the electric company on that because they don't want to give us any money for that. They'd rather us just use it all up for themselves. But it will support the long-term operational goals for us. We think 10 years out, we'll look back on this and think that we did a really good job that we're not having to expend, because we think that energy prices are just going to go up. Our Anthony operation facility, which is now coming into being about 7 years old, that project has been phased in over 3 different phases. The initial phase was just to buy the facility. You can see it now, but you have to think through what it used to be, where the buses were parked, and even going up into the apron of the maintenance facility, all that was dirt, which is difficult during the winter months when things got a little bit muddy. We got the asphalt put in about 3 years ago. Last year, we were finishing the garage. We redid some of the doors, and painted the outside facility, did some work on the HVAC and so on. This year, the third phase was just the front of the building, getting the asphalt in, and then putting in an electronic gate, which is not quite in this shot yet, but we are working on the electric gate with tap cards for the employees to come in and an electric sensors so the buses can come in, come out. We think that'll improve security for the facility, which we think in the long run is very important, especially on the weekends. We now run 6 days a week on this facility, Monday through Saturday, so yeah, we're there quite a bit. The fleet has continued to grow, and we're going to be moving some of the smaller vehicles out and putting in some of our hybrid electric vehicles in there, because we're looking at bringing those operating from Anthony into Las Cruces, and then Anthony all the way along the Turquoise through Chaparral. This is our third bus facility that's been in the plans for about a year. We last discussed to the board, we were working with the state and local processes through the Federal Transit Administration. We had just completed the NEPA, and we're beginning the process of clearing the property when the property, and this is the one next door, this is what my staff likes to call Venus 2. It's still on Venus Street, but the other property ended up selling. Although we tried to open discussions on that property, they indicated they already had plans. But 6 months have gone by, they still don't have plans. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there. However, we have made an arrangement with the current owners. They are interested in the sale. We expect to get a financial offer for them soon. We're also working on the appraisals that'll be forthcoming, and then the approval of the grant through the Federal Transit, through the New Mexico DOT. I actually met with the state staff on Monday. So we are making progress on that one, and we'll be modifying our NEPA projects in order to cover that facility. The advantage of this one, it's a little over 3.2 acres, but it's pretty flat. So it won't be as expensive to grade and prepare it. It's only intended to be much like the Anthony facility, bigger than Anthony, but simply asphalt, gate, electric gate, and probably a butler building type thing for maintenance. It's really intended to store vehicles and to have another electric charging station so that we can bring the electric vehicles in the future into Las Cruces.
And I think you currently station those vehicles at the moment at the parking lot of the Mesilla Valley Hospital right now. So this gives you our own.
We're very quiet about that. We've grown from 2 or 3 vehicles to like 5. In fact, we may be asking the county for a couple of spots out front here at some point. We're into week because Venus is at least 2 years away, as you can tell. It's dirt right now, so we have to.
Not that I want to commit our team to something yet, but just so you're aware, one of the things that the county is doing in our closed lot behind here, behind the building, is we are installing level 2 chargers for our fleet as well.
Yeah.
So we will have some charging capabilities should
we need that. Yeah, that's great.
There could be something there, or we could potentially expand that a little bit more. So maybe there's some opportunities to work with our team on that.
Sure, good. We like to hear that. Thank you. So this is Sunland Park. A little bit colorful on here. So this is it's become a project of its own, the grounds clearing. I had not realized that the area in green, which is being cleared, we started on that earlier this week. That's going to add more than 1.5 acres of property. So a lot of our property, we've talked about 7.5 acres, is actually not usable. When that comes out, and we do have another project to put in the asphalt, we'll be able to make better use of it. The yellow or orange area there is where the solar array is going to go for about 1 acre. So you can give you an idea of spatial aspect. You can see in the middle there, you can kind of see where the buses are parked, and that's where the electric vehicles are. That's going to expand out. We're going to add a 4th electric charging station to that. All this should be done, well, I think we'll make February 26th, so we're looking forward to having this out of the way. Upcoming grants, I spent the last few days finishing our National Transit report, Transit and NTD report. Took a lot of effort this year in part, and in fact, the preliminary results we had with the audit last week, we acknowledged probably the biggest significance of the audit was we went from about $3 million of assets for the company to 11 million. So we added 8 million. So that was a challenge for me on the NTD report to get all the proper capital from different sources in line and put that in place. We also added weekend service across the county on our routes. Anthony, the red route, the purple, the turquoise, and so on. 5 routes, and that added a lot of miles. So our miles are up. The biggest mileage increase was the blue route, which added almost 100,000 miles operating from Sierra County. So distance really catch up, but when you're operating weekdays and so on. So even just one more day is a 15% bump, which is about 80,000 more miles. So, but that's coming in, and we did add 23% ridership growth last year. We're up about 10, 11% right now for the year. So we have more grants coming in. Right now, and Adam's going to go through that presentation a little bit. We've got about 9 plus, almost $10 million of grants kind of in the queue as we go through. Oftentimes, the capital, of course, goes year over year, so not all of that's going to be spent this year. Some of it will carry into next year. Other aspects, I just went through the facility modernization. We are updating our microtransit project. We're still working on the back office. We need software to schedule trips. We have some ideas of places where we'd start, and we do have some federal funds provided by the state to support that. So on the key facility improvements, of course, the microgrid integration, as we get that operational, new electronic gates and pavement, that really helps us, especially in Sunland Park. It's actually 2 separate gates. We're changing the way the flow of the buses come in and out. Getting our Venus operational facility underway in the next year will be very important. I would assume we're probably 18 months out from a contract to actually build it. So more than 2.5 years away from operational. And then the grounds clearing site is in the short run, but it certainly will add to our facility. So construction beginning in January right now. Continued zero emission fleet growth with 5 new vehicles coming in this spring. Continue to expand our ridership demands and strengthen our partnerships with local and state agencies. We continue to get more money, looking for other opportunities. Worked with the legislature this past weekend. We're hoping to get some more money programmed for next year to either help us with the new Venus facility or for more of our electric vans. I think we're looking at smaller vehicles now. We have plenty of the larger vehicles. Any questions?
Board members, any questions? I just want, hopefully, is just something to maybe keep in mind in the future. I don't know yet how this is going to materialize, but in Santa Teresa, with the addition of the green power motors that's coming in from Canada, one of the agreements that they have with the state is to provide a certain number of electric vehicles for the state fleet. I don't know if that would mean then that they would potentially be included within like a CES contract or something, to where we could potentially look to, if we wanted to expand the fleet for an EV bus or some sort of, you know, for our fleet, could there be the potential in the future that that's something we could explore? And it would be kind of nice, just the fact that it could be something that is assembled right up the road in Santa Teresa.
So on that line, I actually opened conversation with Green Power over the past 2 weeks. They are heading this way. I think they're doing a show and tell. I'm not sure if it's this week or next week up in the Capitol. They have 5 vehicles that they're moving into New Mexico, including some mid-sized vans, which we might be interested in, all electric, and a truck and a couple of cars for some other things. So I offer to have those kind of temporarily housed in our facility when they come in. We want to do a little bit of a PR with them and with the VIA. So we hope to see that happen sometime in the next couple of weeks. We think that'd be a great opportunity to press release, get that out. On a separate note, in line with what you're saying, I did open that conversation with the state on Monday. They're very interested, given the logistics of having a vehicle, a company in New Mexico. We haven't had a company building buses in New Mexico since the RTS folks left here 30 years ago. They used to build buses in Roswell. It was a post-Vietnam, so we're actually talking the 80s. I think they were gone by the 90s. But at any rate, it would be wonderful to have something in Santa Teresa. So yes, we're in conversations with them. We're working with BIA. We hope that we can help them with that process because there are some federal things they have to go through to get their vehicles accepted, and there's things they have to do with the state on the procurement side. My sense is they're probably a year away from being able to resolve all those issues, but there may be some opportunities through some kind of a pilot program or they get an exemption. I think the fact that the governor has taken a strong step in supporting that company and the fact that they're in our backyard gives us a great opportunity.
That'd be awesome. Like I said, I just think, like I said, if there's an opportunity for us to find some favorable pricing and cut down on the freight, since it's right up the road, you know, it might be an opportunity for.
Well, they have to do something with these 5 vehicles. So the opportunity for a pilot or special pricing is there. So,
So just something to maybe think.
I'll try to bring that one home. Yeah, good. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, so, okay, so with that concluding, we're on to agenda item number 10. It's a discussion to introduce the South Central Regional Transit District's new employee.
Good, good. I'm going to ask her to come up, Danielle. And Daniela, you're going to help me with this. This is the advantage I get being the executive director. So Danielle is our newest employee. Had worked in Sunland Park. I'm going to talk about yourself in a minute. But Daniela, could you do a little general overview? Because you've known her for a little bit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
More specifically, what is she going to be doing for us?
Absolutely. Thank you, members of the board. So my name is Daniela Gutierrez. I've already been working for South Central Regional Transit for 6 months. And I previously worked with the city of Sunland Park as the city planner. I was very happy to have Danielle on board because she used to be one of the administrative assistants for the city.
David, this is Meiji. I'm not getting anything on my audio. It's
Hello,
like
hello.
frozen.
Can you hear Meiji Pao? Hello?
Meiji, can you hear us?
Hello, hello. Testing, testing. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I see the, I see our microphone as reading on there with the green, but.
Hello, hello. Can you hear us? Testing, testing.
No? Meiji Paui, can you hear us? I don't know. Did turn. Trustee Nevadas, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, just want to verify. All right, I don't know, Trustee Paui, if,
Okay, I'm not getting any audio.
should, other than asking her to jump off and rejoin. Either that or unless somehow, her speakers got muted.
Hello, hello. Can you hear us?
Now, given the fact that I think it's at least a discussion item, so I think while we're trying to figure that out, if you want to continue on and
Yeah.
hopefully sort this out.
Yeah, sounds good. So as I was saying, I mean, I worked with Ms. Ornelas for like a year and a half before we went our separate ways, and then she came over. So her roles at the city of Sunland Park were pretty much, project management. Not only for the Public Works Department, she worked with the director directly a lot, and with the city manager managing not only the employees for the Public Works department, but also helped a lot with the community development projects. Myself as a city planner, I had to work with a lot of other stakeholders and other entities, and she was a key role in helping me out with, managing all of the projects, keeping in touch with all of the stakeholders. And when David, approached me and asked for someone that would be, someone useful as a project coordinator, he himself had already met Danielle at a previous conference that we went to. And when he brought her up, I said, you know what? I can't think of anybody that would be a great asset, better asset than that. So it was kind of a no-brainer. She went through the interviews and whatnot, and ultimately she ended up getting the position. But so when it comes to her position here, she has been a very important person that has been putting not only all of these PowerPoints together and whatnot, but already with some of the projects that you've been seeing here, I have a list of like 18 plus projects that I'm managing, but she's been keeping me on track to make sure that I not only keep communication going internally, but also externally, and all of the paperwork, communication inside and outside is on point. So that's one of the things that I can think of, that she's being a project coordinator in that asset.
Hi, my name is Daniela Ornelas. I am the project coordinator for SCRTD. And with the little time that I've been here, it is quite different, and different in a good way. I personally love it so far. It keeps me busy and it keeps me on my toes. I love to keep other people also on track, so that helps me keep everything else on track. And Ms. Gutierrez definitely described my role really good. I have nothing to add other than on top of me being on top of projects at the city, I was also in charge of procurement for Public Works as well. So I also have that asset. And yeah, thank you so much. And I am grateful to be here.
Great. Thank you. Welcome to the team.
Thank you. My last words will be, as you can tell, they're both very definitive in the things that they can do. This agency has gone a long ways, as you well know. We've done a lot of things. There's a lot still to do, and we'll continue to go through that as we go through next year's budget development. And there's multiple projects. When I did meet with the state staff this week, one of the things they acknowledge is that we are the busiest transit entity in the entire state, which is pretty interesting since that includes Albuquerque and some other agencies. But NCRTD just got their new general manager in place that replaced Tony, who had been there for years. I expect them to continue to do good work as well. So we all kind of learn and do well from each other. But locally, having the staff to be able to get out there and work with the different city governments is really important. I did meet with some of the Sunland Park new council members over the weekend. And so that's going to turn into another presentation we're going to do in Sunland Park. And that's something we've been so busy, we haven't been able to get out. I haven't made a presentation in Anthony in several years. So I'd like to be able to do that, get back to the different ones. In discussions with Trustee Powey earlier, I mentioned the same thing. My goal is to get out and meet with Elephant View and TRC and so on.
Awesome.
There you go. That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Trustee Powey, can you hear us?
Oh.
I know I sent her a message directly in the chat for WebEx and asking her to maybe drop and rejoin and try to see if that might solve it, or check her speakers. I think the only concern I have is that for agenda item number 11, we need approval of a resolution, and without her, we don't have a quorum. So,
You're correct, it'd be difficult to do the next ones. I still have, yeah, I need that for the safety plan, which is next. So,
Yeah, I guess what I would maybe suggest for now, until we can get her back on the line, my thought would be to, unfortunately, at the moment, skip agenda items 11, 12, and 13, which are all approvals
go to 11.
for resolutions. So what I'll do or suggest is that maybe we move to, again, another discussion item, which is item 14 for now.
Which I could do, but
And then we can,
let me try and call her.
okay, we'll take a minute here and see if that works. If not, then we'll move ahead for now until we can get it figured out.
That would be the way to do it, but she's not answering her phone.
Yes, please, go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that the executive report that is on screen was an additional presentation as an extension to Mr. Armijos's report. I don't know if he wants to speak on it.
Okay,
while we try to get
is
Howard.
that on the handbook or?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, we could, if we want to continue on that for now, then we can.
We can.
I'll try to get in contact with her.
No, that, I mean, I think if, like I said, if we're just trying to find, at least give a little bit of time for trustee Powie to go. I said,
Here she goes.
okay.
Hello, trustee Power, this is David. Uh-huh. So dialing in didn't work. Okay, we're trying to get you some assistance. Hang on one second. Okay. All right, let me see what I can help you. Okay, try, can you, let me give you a couple of different numbers you can call in on. 575. Don't do anything. All right, hang on to those numbers. We'll call you back. All right, thank you. Bye. All right, we're there.
All right.
All right, we can go back to number 10,
Okay, so
number 11.
do you want to continue on with the board handbook before
I
we?
think we passed on that. It was provided as I was just going to make a note. I gave it to all the board and that it was really intended for the new board members, and I'm hopeful that it was helpful to them. And also, since it does give an update on history and other things, it's a good tool for any board member to have. So that's really all I want to say. Okay. It's
No, and I
available.
appreciate it. I know Mayor Olguin was previously serving in the city of Anthony as a trustee, but should you have any questions or anything, I encourage you to reach out to any one of the board members and any other suggestions that you may have. We appreciate it. So
Yes, thank you, definitely.
awesome. Thank you, sir. Okay, then we're on to agenda item number 11. It's a discussion and approval of a resolution for the South Central Regional Transit District Agency Safety Plan.
Yes.
If I can get a motion and a second to begin discussion, please.
So move, Nevada's.
Thank you, trustee Nevares.
Second, Holguin.
All right, I have a second by Vice Chair Holguin. Okay. I'll turn that over to you, sir, to David.
Yes, thank you. So if you go into your presentation, I think the safety plan comes up on, well, it's a yellow tab. The safety plan is a plan that we've had almost from the very beginning of the district. It gives some background and history on that. It has been updated every few years. Most recent update came in last summer, and it was really in response to some of the changes that were embedded in the government of the USDOT at that time. And as a agency safety plan, or ASP as we call it, it is a significant system, and it actually does support what we call the safety management system. So internally, the program is executed by, to some extent, Loretta here. She's the transportation manager, and she has the dispatchers and the drivers, and they make up more than half the employees that are in the field. But the safety plan goes beyond that. It also includes administrative, it's our buildings, it's dealing with the fire marshals, some of the things that we're doing, even electronic gates, some of the security there. So safety, it means more than just safety. It also means security under the guidelines. And so we're constantly looking at ways to make the investment. Adam is required to ensure that he shows in our urban grants, 1% of our money goes to safety, whatever. Believe me, 1% is not that much. We spend that without a doubt. So this plan is I always like to use the term is organic. What we see today really was developed last August, July, August. We had intended to do it in August, but we didn't have that board meeting, so it got pushed back. We've been asked by the New Mexico Department of Transportation to update it even further, and so we're continuing to do some additional tweaks to it. We believe this is as good as we can get for the moment. We may very well bring this back to the board in the next 6 months and highlight what other changes we think might be necessary for it. I think the big thing that we'll try to do in the coming year is more training. I know that's something that Loretta has been asking for, and the staff. Taking on the bigger facility with Sunland Park has embedded in that system the safety aspects of the building itself, as well as that, everything from fire, whatever we have with that, and the fire box. I mean, we've dealt with a fire marshal more than I've ever experienced in any other agency. So, but with that said, all I'm asking for today is just, that we approve this particular plan, trust that we continue to update it, and that we will be coming forward to it. I will say this, because I just did the National Transit Database. We actually perform very well. Now, I don't know if you want to say anything, Loretta. You've done school bus and training. We don't have a lot of accidents. One of the biggest moves in the safety plan in the nation now is casualties of bus operators, where bus operators are being offended on the buses. That's happening in Albuquerque. We're not having that happen here. We've had some challenges. We definitely have had some challenges, and ongoing training is good. We also have, a safety officer, works for her, Martin. And so, yeah, anyway, I don't know there's much more I want to say to this, but we do take this very significant, and we think that this is a very important plan. We will come back with a more definitive presentation in the future, but for now, this is the final version that we came up with in 2025, but we will update this in 2026.
Board members, any questions? I think the only question I had was around the safety performance targets. There's item number 14 under system reliability. It seems like everything is divided by the revenue miles.
Mm-hmm.
But for whatever reason, system reliability is revenue miles divided by mechanical system failures.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like I said, I thought, like I said, in my mind, I don't know if that's intentional or if that was accidental, just because it shows 6,000, and I don't know if it's trying to show how many miles you're driving before there's an issue,
Right.
or if then that's how the reliability is, or is it that you're trying to show a percentage of how little the number of miles are being up? That was my only question, because I think everything else is where in the denominator, the revenue miles is in the denominator, but this was
Right.
numerous. I wasn't sure how that's measured.
Well, two parts to it. I mean, we do the calculation based on 100,000 miles per vehicle revenue mile. So we all share that. It's going to be the same rule whether you're in Dallas or somewhere else. However, this last year, our miles went up dramatically because of the new service on the Blue Route and increases in frequency of service, and then adding the Saturday service. So since we don't have very many accidents or issues, our numbers will remain even further down. Now, the other aspect is we're growing the fleet with electric vehicles. Electric vehicles don't have as many component failures. We don't have oil changes. We don't do a bunch of stuff. So the dynamic is in 6 months we come back, you're probably going to see that number change quite a bit. And we can probably have more dialogue on that. So we're getting the benefits of having more miles with fewer failures going forward. So what does that ultimately mean? Well, it should mean based on that, either your safety benefits or cost, so you can expect the cost to be lower.
Yeah.
And that may be a report that we do down the road, which is, what are the benefits that we've gained from having electric vehicles over diesel?
Yeah.
Not just the air quality issue, it's really the.
Well, I think that's probably a lot of the drive. I think from a financial standpoint, that is kind of the driver for as much. And like I said, I think as much as I'm a proponent for the clean air aspect of it, I think really when I look at this as a, there is that financial aspect, and does it make sense? Because that was always, I know for us,
Rather only cares that she can make pull-out,
they.
that she has a bus working.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. Yeah, you don't want.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think like I said, it doesn't make sense of forcing something that potentially is causing us to be financially.
We've done very,
distressed.
very well. There was a recent recall with New Flyer, which is a Canadian-American company, largest bus company in Northern America, and they had a significant number of buses recalled. We've been working with Gillig. We've not had a recall in the last, 5 years. But we I knew that going in. I've been working with Gillig for a long time. They're very conservative company, very conservative. They avoided the bleeding edge on a lot of technologies until things were ready to go. They're a good partner for us. All right,
Cool.
So, thank you.
All right, and so with that, I know we've got the safety plan. If there are no other questions then from the board members, then we have a resolution to accept the safety plan that's been motioned and seconded. So I'll do a roll call on the acceptance, resolution to approve, the SCRTD's safety plan. Trustee Powie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Nevades?
Yes.
Vice Chair Holguin?
Yes.
Vice Chair Sanchez, I vote yes, and with that resolution is approved 4-0. On to agenda item number 12. It's a discussion and approval of a resolution for the fiscal year 2026 budget amendment. If I get a motion and a second to begin discussion, please. I'll move approval if I can get a second.
Holguin, second.
Thank you,
This
Vice
is
Chair.
Howie. I'll make that a second.
Thank you all. All right. So we have a motion and a second. I'll turn it over to you, Adam.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. My name is Adam Shea. I'm the finance officer. This is the request for an amendment to the budget as of the second quarter. Very first page has to do with the expenses. It is a reduction of $21,750 and an increase of $70,026.57 for a difference of an increase of $48,276.57. That would bring the budget balance or total for the fiscal year of $3,359,787.64. These changes are due to, as the expenditures went over than the anticipated 50% for the year. And these are adjustments between these particular line items. And the major items have to do with supplies, janitorial services, uniforms, advertising, and utilities. Utilities is the big one. It's an increase of 25,000. The main reason is because when we started the electric charging of the buses, we did not have an accurate figure to go off of to create the budget and all. So we are at a current balance in utilities of 27,000, and that is through the second quarter. This increase hopefully will get us towards will take us to the end of the fiscal year, and as long as potentially the services of the solar array come into play, those amounts are going to go down. So that is what we have to look forward to as far as the utilities are concerned. Any questions so far?
Board members, any questions?
None at this time.
Next page is an amendment to the revenue. This is primarily between 5311 and 5310. The balances are due to the MOUs coming in after the beginning of the fiscal year. So these adjustments bring up to date the revised budget, which would be $4,117,002.84. Taking into consideration the expense of $3,359,787.64, will leave a balance in our money market account of $757,215.20. Questions? Finally, the last page has to do with adjustment of capital. Primarily, the adjustment is pointed at two particular areas, 5310 and CMAC. We had an increase in CMAC of $444,000 from what was anticipated. And then the 5310 is a couple of vans. Again, these items were potentially coming in, but didn't have it until we got the MOU after the beginning of the fiscal year. That brings us up to $10,055,489.63 as a balance in capital. Questions?
Not hearing or seeing any?
And that concludes as far as the amendments are concerned. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, board members, any questions there or any final questions on the proposed amendments to the budget? All right, not hearing or seeing any, so I'll take a roll call on approval of the fiscal year 2026 budget amendment. Trustee Powie, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, Trustee Nevades,
Yes.
Vice Chair Holguin,
Yes.
Vice Chair Sanchez vote yes. So with that, that is approved 4-0. Next is agenda item number 13. It's discussion and approval of a resolution for the second quarter financials of fiscal year 2026. If I get a motion in a second.
So move, Nevares.
Thank you, Trustee Nevades. I will second the motion. And so with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Adam.
Thank you, sir. Start off with is our cash balances as of December 31st, total of $471,611.67. This does, the next page is actually the cash, or correction, the expenditures for fiscal year 26 through December 31st. And the expenses currently stand at 56.3% of the overall budget. This is due to an increase in services, so our wage, or our employee wages, as well as employee benefits increased. They went up to 54.7% and 57.8% respectively. These amounts, I anticipate I will be working up what the new routes are versus employees and come up with a presentation we're planning on in the February meeting to discuss where we stand as far as employee wages and benefits and the budget overall. Travel and maintenance is 46.3%. Supplies, 62.8%. That was another big jump, primarily because we rearranged things as far as both the facilities, Sunland Park and Anthony, to offer supplies and ready supplies for the drivers as well as the rest of the personnel. Insurance is at 50%. Contractual services, 67. Oh, there we go. 67.7%. Thank you. These are due to signage that we gained as far as the Sunland Park facility, legal fees, and software. We are now in the process of installing cameras and then the APCs, the automated passenger counters in the buses. All that takes new software. Some of the stuff that we did not get into until after the beginning of the fiscal year. Finally, operating costs, an amount of 74.7%. This is primarily due to the payoff of the commercial loan that we had, as well as taxes and license. The taxes was another thing that we were not anticipating, and it wasn't until after we got billed the property taxes and so forth for fiscal or for 2026 that we discovered how much we were lacking in that respect. Overall, the expenditures come out to be $1,890,457.24, 56.3% of the overall expenditure budget. Are there any questions so far?
No, I'm not hearing or seeing any. Thank you.
Next page is revenue. We received in,
Mrs. Magee, I had a question. So why were the property taxes not expected?
we just got into the Sunland Park facility in calendar year 2025. We did not have a bill until the end of 2025 for 2026. It's just something that we
Okay,
did not have the amount available.
okay.
Back to the revenue. We received $1,826,699.37, 44.4% of the overall budget. However, we did bill out, and is still outstanding, $827,686.41. Pardon me. This amounts to 66.4% of the overall revenue anticipated to come in. On the next page is the capital appropriations. We received a total of $1,719,631.64, but we anticipate another $1,148,296 in accounts receivable. Adding these together would be an amount of about 66.5% of the overall capital budget. Capital appropriations at this time, and it's specifically on those amounts received, is $100,228.94. Any questions?
Board members, any questions?
And that concludes my presentation for financials.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee Powie, on the question you had. Just to make sure the board members didn't have, if they had any other questions, just want to make sure we had a chance to ask those. Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the resolution for the second quarter financials for fiscal year 2026. We'll take a roll call vote. Trustee Powie, how do you vote?
Yes.
Trustee Nevares,
Yes.
Vice Chair Holguin.
Yes.
I, Chair Sanchez, vote yes, and so that resolution is approved 4-0. Thank you. Agenda item number 14 is a discussion and update of the SCRTD MOU between NMDOT, the Mesilla Valley MPO, the city of Las Cruces with Roadrunner Transit, and SCRTD.
I'm going to do that presentation from here. Good afternoon, David Armijo, Executive Director. 2 points to this presentation. We don't yet have an agreement in place with the 4 parties. We've been attempting for the better part of the last 5 years to get an agreement. The idea of the agreement is one in which the New Mexico DOT, the Mesilla Valley MPO, the City of Las Cruces, and SCRTD would have an agreement as to the way we would do planning for the region, how we interact with one another, and so on. However, most importantly for SCRTD is that we are now asking for our fair share of urban funds for the region, very similar to what we've been getting in place through an agreement, similar agreement we did accomplish down in El Paso, with the expectation that on an annualized basis, if certainly beginning with 2026, we would get a portion of the revenues from the urbanized area. And the Federal Transit Administration and U.S. Department of Transportation already has an agreement in place. It's up to a local agreement, but they believe that the following is that all revenues or service hours or miles should be distributed through the urbanized area to any of the urbanized providers. So over time, there could be many. An example of that is when we came forward back in 2018, 2019, and finally got an agreement that didn't go into effect until about 2022, which is now generating about $800,000, $900,000 or more a year based on funds from New Mexico. This year, that same agreement is being expanded in El Paso to include the city of Socorro, Texas, and the new EPATS program, which is El Paso County Transportation, along with Sun Metro and SCRTD. So we'll find out more about that. The upside of that one is that they're now willing to allow SCRTD to have access to the 5339 funds, which are capital from the region. Under the agreement that we signed in order to get these funds back in 2022, 23, 24, 25, 4 years worth, now 26 coming up, 5 years, we had to waive those 5339 funds because the city of Sunland Park, city of Sun Metro, city of El Paso would not grant us those funds. However, under the new agreement, they will grant us those funds. Apparently, the world has changed. We hope not to have to go through the same problems in Mesilla. We began to get some urbanized funds in Mesilla about 2 years ago from the Go Vanpool program. And initially, we got almost $100,000, and then that got cut in half to like $50,000. And there's a story on that. We won't go back into that. However, that opened the door for us to ask this year, the 3rd year into that we should get the funding from the urbanized area, which is right now dominated by the city of Las Cruces on behalf of Roadrunner. I will say this is that as the discussions go forward, there will be some challenges ahead. When we look at our revenue hours and miles, and we now have 5 routes that intersect within the Mesilla Valley service area, we operate almost as much service hours and miles as they do. The difference is ridership. So they run a more frequent service, so actually their hours are higher, and their miles are a little bit higher, but they're still pretty significant to us. So what might that do? We believe the separation of the financing on that is going to be much greater than what we're seeing in El Paso. So we think it'll be upwards of $1 million annually. And that's going to be a huge hit to the budget for the city of Las Cruces Transit. But, like with everything else, they'll adjust. For us, it offers us the opportunity to reallocate our revenues across the district. More specifically, if the urbanized area in Mesilla is providing more resources for the routes that go in there, which include the red route out of Anthony, and service to
Stop
the
it.
copper route that is in, it connects to Mesilla, town of Mesilla, comes in on Doña and comes through into Las Cruces and so on and so forth. So without getting into every one of those, what that would mean is then we could reallocate funds, which means there might be more resources available into the area around Anthony and Chaparral. There may be more resources available going further into Hatch, things like that. That could mean either an increase in frequency and or more resources for more equipment or another facility. All those would give the district an opportunity, and we'll be coming forward with a 10-year plan in about a month or so, either February or March, we'll make a presentation. And when you get that presentation from our contractor, you'll get a better sense of, from their standpoint, because they've been with us for a while, what is that going to mean? And so it really opens up Pandora's box. It means more resources for our finance department, where we have 3 people. But historically, it used to be just Adam. So, I mean, and you met some more people today, it gives us more opportunity to do more projects. Areas that need significant attention, bus shelters and benches, number 1 on the list that people want. It takes a lot of resources to produce those. So being able to get some more urbanized money here is really important. I will say this to our chair, because I know you also are on the MPO. We're having problems with the MPO commenting and moving this process along. So any help you can get to put a little pressure on that to get them on board would be helpful to this process.
Yeah. I would anticipate that, as you noted, the city of Las Cruces is, probably Roadrunner Transit is probably not exactly excited to share funding, so I anticipate there'll probably be road bumps there. But it was my understanding is the MPO was going to be reaching back out to have, if they haven't already, with having further discussions on that.
Yeah, I think one way to look at it, and Adam and I talked about this, I think our first budget was the 2022. There's a couple of different ways where the money comes into New Mexico because of the El Paso MPO. So we're only touching the New Mexico money. We're not touching any of the Texas money, which is an interesting dynamic. We operate in Texas. We could request that, but we're not. There's reasons for that. But for now, when our ridership was accounted for, there's an account, there's a line item in which that you get actual operating funds, but it's not intended for that. It's intended in the 5307 urban to be capital with some funds used for operations and some swaps. You can swap maintenance for operations. You can swap paratransit for operations. However, in this one line item, it's specific for operations. We went from $16,000 4 or 5 years ago. Last time we got 89,000, I think the number is. And I think this next time will be well over 100,000. What that ultimately means is it's not that we're getting more than that. The region is getting more than that. So our bringing in revenue and ridership, and even though it's on the New Mexico side and some on the Texas side, is actually generate more revenue for the entire region. And so one of the things that has to be in the dialogue is as we come to the table with our service, revenue hours, miles, and everything else, and population, then all those are things that will help the MPO for Mesilla Valley as it does help down in southern New Mexico. But either way, these new revenues do present challenges, because then the challenge is, where do you get enough local operating funds to match all this? And so in the end, it's going to be very difficult for the district to keep operating without a sales tax. I mean, all the other big systems have some kind of a sales tax, but that's dialogue for another day. Okay. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
David. Board members, any questions or comments? Okay. Thank you.
David, thank you for all your hard work.
Well, thank you. Thank the staff. They're, in fact, Danielle is working on a bus stop at Walmart. You might be seeing her in your neighborhood.
Well, no, I mean, up in Tier C, they do stop at Walmart.
they have difficulty. We're trying to get an actual stop in that so we can be safer for the drivers and for the public.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, then we're on item 15, which is board comments. Board members, any comments at this time? No?
I have a
Sure.
comment.
Yeah, please.
Well, this is my first time here as a committee member, so I'm sure I'll have questions later on. I'm very critical. I review everything and stuff like that, so I'm pretty new, that's why I'm not asking questions, but I'm sure that'll change the next meeting. I do have my city clerk with me, Valeria Arroyos. She's brand new in the city clerk world, so she's not new in government. She recently came from New Mexico State Police as an evidence tech to be a city clerk. So I brought her along with me so that she can see the world of committees and, understand, what the mayor and other members go through when we go to committee meetings. So she had the pleasure of joining us today. But other than that, I'm pretty happy that I get to be on this committee.
Great.
Thank you.
Yep, then welcome. And I know, I said it'll be nice to have you join. I know with one of the things that we've seen is City of Anthony has always been kind of one of the central points of the transit district, given how far it is. And so, I appreciate being able to hear and get that feedback from you all as well. So looking forward to having you on the board, sir.
Yes, and I think it's pretty important, especially for like the towns like Anthony, that's right in the middle of everything. We're talking about El Paso and stuff like that. Anthony, you don't go to just Las Cruces or El Paso, you go to both. And it's something when I went to college, I was also on, I believe, the red route. I had to get up and I use the transit service myself, so I think this is one of the many important things for, the community of Anthony. So, I think Anthony has been very dormant as well in committee meetings. So I'm trying to make it a point so that we have representation across the board.
Thank you. And
Thank
I think, I think it's been the pivot point to over to Chaparral or continuing down to Sunland Park. I said it kind of a key spoke in the connectivity there. So, but looking forward to having you as joining us on the board. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments? Okay. Well, with that, we've reached the end of our agenda. So their next meeting right now is scheduled for February 25th, 2026. Appreciate you all joining. Appreciate all those that stepped up to be an officer. And so we'll, if there are no objections, then I will call this meeting adjourned here at 2:57 p.m. And we'll see you here in February. So, thank you.
Thank you.